Hi, welcome to Creating a Business Case. I'm John McElroy. In this movie series, we'll look at creating the business case through the eyes of a project manager. In this introduction, I want to start by defining the business case. We need a working definition we can use throughout the entire movie series. After that, we'll look at mandatory versus discretionary projects. We're going to use a slightly different approach for each. After that, we'll build a framework, something we can use to build our business case step by step. Then we'll look at success factors, things that should go in every business case we develop. Let's start with the working definition. What exactly is a business case? Well, here's a definition that works for me. To me, a business case is an analytical tool for making decisions. Those decisions concern future actions that require an investment, and the investment could be money, time, resources, or people. Organizations prepare business cases to make good investment decisions. They have more opportunities available to them than they have people to manage those opportunities or money to invest in those opportunities. They need to be selective. The business case helps ensure the best possible choice is made. What is a business case not? Well, it's not speculative, it's not marketing, it's not advertising. We want to avoid flowery sales language in our business case. Our business case should be a narrowly defined, tightly argued, step-by-step presentation of the facts, data, and analysis supporting our investment decision. Presented, of course, in the most compelling way possible. And at the end, a decision will be made. When we're finished, we might get the go decision or we might get the no-go decision. Some people consider no-go to be business case failure. I don't agree. If you did a good job creating your business case and you still got the decision no-go, I think you can still feel good that the right decision was made. After all, at the end of the day, your job was to help get the decision right. And that's what business case development is really all about. Now, what about those two kinds of projects? We're going to be working with both discretionary projects and mandatory projects. And I want to briefly examine the difference. Discretionary projects happen because of a stimulus, internal or external. Organization might be considering a growth opportunity, or significant cost savings are available, or maybe a competitive threat needs a response, or even a new strategic position is being pursued. The common element in all is discretion. The organizations can pursue or reject the project. In mandatory projects, doing nothing is not an option. Action must be taken. Could be a legal requirement or regulatory compliance issue, or even a contractual obligation of some kind. So discretionary projects have business as usual as an option. Once business as usual is no longer an option, now we have a mandatory project. Now we're just simply choosing between competing projects. Should we choose project A or project B or C or D or E? I think we can all boil it all down to two questions. Question one asks, is that project economically viable? That applies to discretionary projects. Question two asks, is project A better than B? That applies to both discretionary and mandatory projects. And we're going to come back to those two questions over and over in this course. So make a mental note. Question one, that's the economic viability question. Question two, that's the project ranking question. Now, many people, when they're building a business case, compare it to a legal case, and that is a valid comparison. If you asked a lawyer, what makes a good legal case? You wouldn't get the one right answer to that question. It doesn't exist. Lawyers don't work from a standard template. They don't have a standard form that can be filled in step by step to prepare the best possible legal case in every situation. It does not work that way. They don't have a guaranteed 10-step process for preparing a legal case. Every legal case is built from the ground up. Now, a lawyer does have tremendous freedom to shape their case. They decide what evidence will be selected, what witnesses should we call. They're the ones that construct and frame the arguments. And of course, at the end, they draw the conclusions that most strongly support their case going forward. Now, a business case developer has that very same freedom. Now, we know that when people are working on their very first business case, the blank sheet of paper can be intimidating. In fact, that's why we created this movie series. We're not going to be able to give you a simple and easy paint-by-number solution, but we can and will help you fill up those blank sheets of paper. We want you to create the strongest business case possible. Because at the end, the goal, of course, is to get your business case approved. Now, I said earlier a no-go decision was perfectly legitimate, but I'm under no illusions. People watching this movie series, they want to get their business case approved. So I want to talk about the key success factors that can help us make that happen. To be successful, your business case needs to be, number one, credible. Credibility might be the single most important factor in developing a successful business case. I'll say it bluntly. Business cases with low credibility rarely get approved. And credibility applies to every element of your business case. It applies to you as the author. It applies to your content, your analysis, and your conclusions. Business case developers need to ensure that credibility permeates every single page of their business case. Number two, your business case needs to be understandable. That's an important but often overlooked element of a successful business case. It'll help if you use simple business words, if you tell your story with a logical narrative. Make sure that it's easy to follow. Avoid that temptation to include heavy analysis right in the body of your business case. We know analysis has to be in there, but see if it fits better at the back in the appendix, because your business case readers who aren't familiar with all the facts might find it challenging. On the one hand, to keep track of your storyline, if they have to wade through a lot of data and analysis that's right in the body of your business case. Number three, your business case does need to be accurate, and that starts with timely information. Put the most current information possible in your business case. Stale data can definitely impact your business case in a negative way. Make sure you clearly state your assumptions. Business case readers will almost automatically doubt the credibility of your estimates if the assumptions that support those estimates are somehow missing. So your business case also needs to be thorough. So once you've established the scope boundaries, that means including all the relevant information and all the relevant alternatives. This is about minimizing the gaps in your business case. When relevant information is missing, the credibility of the business case is called into question. There's no doubt about it. And don't forget the what-if analysis. Readers want to know, what's the impact on the business case if the estimates fall short? Let's be honest, your business case has to withstand aggressive cross-examination. Expect to be challenged. Business case readers will not accept everything you write at face value. They'll require verification, validation, and more detailed explanations on the critical parts of your case. One of my favorite analogies for building a business case is the building block analogy. If you're a business case developer, think about it. You're working from a blank sheet of paper. It's going to be up to you to lay down the facts and the analysis and the evidence that are relevant to the business case. Then you're going to do some analysis. You'll come up with a decision criteria. You'll consider various alternatives, and ultimately you'll make a recommendation. Our job in this movie series is to help you build that structure in the most compelling way possible. This introduction was in part to remind you that when you're building that business case, make credibility a priority. Make your business case understandable, make sure it's accurate, and finally, make sure that it's thorough. If you cover all your bases, we think you're going to multiply your chances of getting your business case approved. And with that in mind, let's get started.